Okay, let's log into the PfSense firewall. If we remember, the address is 192.168.1.1. And this is a normal certificate error because the certificate that's built into PfSense is not registered. Let's click here. Also, this is how the screen looks if you use Firefox. If you use a different browser, the screen will look different. All right, initial username is admin. Password is PfSense. All right, so when you first log in, it takes you through a wizard. Let's click next. Let's click next. Okay, PfSense. This is the host name. Now, what I normally do is change this to something unique. So let's say Brian. The reason I change this is if I manage multiple firewalls. So I change this so when I make a backup, I can tell which backup file belongs to which firewall. Here's DNS. We can leave this blank for now because you're probably getting an address automatically from your ISP. Here, allow DNS servers to be overwritten by DHCP on the WAN. This means you'll get DNS server information from your ISP. Let's click next. Let's set your time zone. I'm in Chicago, so I'm going to pick America. I believe it says Chicago. There we go. Okay. This screen will allow you to configure the wide area network information. So this is the connection that goes to your ISP. So right now it's set to DHCP, which means to get the address automatically. Let's scroll down here. There's a lot of information, but you can leave this blank. Click next. This is where you will change the address of the local area network connection. Now, your network in your home may be different, but for right now, let's leave this the same because we're using our setup as we defined earlier. You can change this address later once we had a little more tutelage. Okay, here you can change the password, and I recommend you do that. So I won't tell you mine. Okay. Here we go. Let's reload. Congratulations. PfSense is now configured. Okay, believe it or not, after we click here, your PfSense firewall is ready to roll. Let's click here. All right, welcome to the PfSense GUI, Graphical User Interface. When you first log into your PfSense, you'll get the dashboard screen. And it gives you some general information. Here we have system information. If you remember earlier, I made my PfSense domain name .brian to make it distinguished. Here we have the version. We're at the latest version. Platform PfSense. Remember earlier I told you I had a Pentium D. Here it is listed here. 2 CPUs, 1 package. So it's a dual core. My firewall has been up 14 hours. Here's my DNS. I received these DNS settings from my ISP router. Here's the states. Remember we talked about states? States with a firewall versus a router. We'll talk about that more later. And let's see, I have a gig of RAM. Right now I'm only using 10%. And I got a 70 gig hard drive. Let's see here. Here's my address I received from my ISP, from the ISP modem. And this is my address on the LAN. Now, as you can see, PfSense has literally hundreds of settings. So on later videos, I'll go through some of the more important settings. But right now, if everything went well, you should be able to get to the internet. Let's take a look. Let's go to a website here, cars.com. There we go. The internet is working. Let's check out our friends at Udemy. Oh, Black Friday blowout. $10 courses. You should go pick up one or two. So the internet is working. Let's earlier I was checking my IP address. So as you can see, let's click that again. So did IP config. My address 192.168.1.101 and my gateway is 1.1. Let's see. Let's do a IP config all. See more settings. Now I have more than one interface on this computer, but let's focus on the LAN. Shows me my DHCP server is 192.168.1.1 and my DNS server is the same. So let's go through a few of the settings right now. Let's go to services DHCP server. So by default, and the reason you're able to get to the internet right away is PfSense DHCP server is on by default. So right away it's giving out addresses if everything's hooked up properly. Okay, these are all the settings. Like I say, there'll be more videos to come where I'll explain more of these settings in detail. Let's go to status. DHCP leases. This shows you, it looks like there's some other items in my network that grab an address, but here's mine, 192.168.1.1. My computer name is BFHQ10, so it shows me the leases. Okay. Let's go back to the dashboard. One of the cool things is that you can change the look and feel of the graphical user interface on PfSense. So let's take a look here. Let's go to General. Right down here, the theme. So right now this is PfSense NG. Let's check another one here. Let's go to PfSense. What's that? NGFS. Takes a second to load. All right. So it looks about the same, but the screen just went a little wider. Let's go back and pick a different one. So that's System, General Settings. I'm sorry, General Setup. And down at the bottom here, let's pick Nerve Center. Let's see how that looks. Okay, it centers the GUI on the page. Puts this little graphic up here. All right, let's try one more. Let's take the one I typically use, called the wall. This is the one I like. All right, this is cool right here. Kind of a distressed wall-looking background. Now, one weird thing is, if on most of the themes, you can click the PfSense logo, and it takes you back to the dashboard. But on this one, you have to put it right above it. I don't know if that was intentional or some kind of secret code, but that's how you get back to the dashboard. Also, here in the dashboard, you can add more widgets. Here's all your options here. Captive Portal. Most of these things are advanced. Let's take a look here. Smart Status. Let's take that one. Smart is a widget that gives you the status of your hard drive. So let's see here. So it says my hard drive passed. That's good to know. What else we got here? Let's just take the traffic. This is pretty useful here. So it shows me my traffic graph. and it shows you the traffic of the LAN and the WAN. So let's, you know what, let's go download something here. Let's go to PfSense. Let's go to pfsense.org. Let's go download something here. Let's see, let's go download to PfSense again. We just pick anything here. Okay, let's pick it from, let's leave the country now. Let's pick it from Amsterdam. Let's go back real quick. As you can see, we're generating some traffic. My WAN went up to 2 megabits for a second. I'm still downloading. Okay, now we shot to 7.5 megabits. Same with the LAN, so you get the idea. This will give you real-time statistics on your WAN traffic. I'm sorry, on your WAN and your LAN traffic. Let's go through a few more items here. The status menu does what it says. It gives you status. Let's take a look at our gateways. Okay, it says online. This is our gateway going to our ISP. This is IP version 6. We're not using that. What else we got here? System logs. Now this is a whole course in itself, but one of the main things you want to look at is the firewall logs, and it shows you the red means it was blocked. If it was green, it would show you it was passed. Alright, like I say, more on that later. And let's look at the rules. This rule on the LAN is what allows us to get to the internet right away. IP version 6, LAN subnet. That means the address, the network on the LAN interface. Any port, any destination. So basically this rule says any traffic coming from the LAN, allow it out. So this default rule is what allows us to get to the internet right away on the PfSense. This is IP version 6, which we're not using. So as you can see, there's a ton of settings in PfSense, and I will cover these more in later lectures and maybe even a more advanced course. But thank you for watching. Enjoy your firewall.